Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. This is Yves Moliva, Human Species Coach. The topic of the day is the power of breathing, and the criticalness of breathing in our human life, and how you can use your breath to actually shape your human experience. To begin the video, I want to start with a question to put things into perspective. Now, how long can you stay without food? Probably weeks. How long can you stay without water? Probably days. But how long can you stay without oxygen? We're talking about minutes. Now, just that shows you the importance that breathing has in our lives. All right. Before food, before water, oxygen actually takes precedence in our human experience. But in our lives, we don't think about it. It's happening in the behind the scenes, so it's actually taking a back seat in our human life. Really, I would like to define what's really happening when you're actually breathing. This process has been refined by the body over millions of years to a point that today you don't have to think about it. It's really outside of your control. That's how it has evolved. But this process, whether you think about it or not, it's happening daily, every second, from the time you're born until the time that you're going to die. So, really, what's happening when you're breathing is it's a very simple process that most of us are familiar with. And during the breathing process, body actually pulls oxygen in through your nose, goes into your lungs, which is up, and then from there it's transported. The oxygen is transported to your muscles via your blood, which is like a little cars driving the oxygen through the highway, the veins and arteries, and the blood is transporting the oxygen to the muscles, which is the destination where the oxygen is going. Then the muscles are going to use it, and as a byproduct of that usage, the body is going to create carbon dioxide, which the car is going to transport it back to the lung, the hub, through the veins, the highway, and then from the hub, the carbon dioxide is actually exhaled through your nose or mouth. So this breathing process of inhaling oxygen, exhaling carbon dioxide. It's happening continuously pretty much every second. It's happening pretty fast. You don't even have to think about it, but it's happening. And this exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide, it's really a key ingredient that your body actually needs to do its functions. I said earlier, the oxygen is the number one food that your body needs before actual food or water. All right. If you don't have that, forget about the other stuff. Not only the oxygen is used for feeding your body and muscles for what they need in terms of oxygen and carbon dioxide. But not only that's happening at the chemical level, but at the human experience level, right? This proper exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide actually affects your experience of being a human within the body. The breath will affect your mental state, it'll affect your physical state more than you would even imagine. And I'm going to go into details and how that's happening. So when the breathing is natural, it's called, I call it the full breath. It's happening from the belly. And at the belly, there's a muscle called the diaphragm, which is the main breathing muscle. But imagine, and really kids or babies are the perfect example to see that full breath happening. Babies are born, that breathing is perfectly natural, and just observe how they're actually breathing because they're doing it properly. You will see that the belly expand fully, contracts, expand, contracts, expand on the inhale, contract, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So This is, like I said, natural breathing, and it's called full breath. With the full breath, the baby is able to pull the required oxygen that it needs for the body and feed the cells and feed the body, the muscles with the proper amount of oxygen. And as the baby exhales through the belly, it's able to release that carbon dioxide and also release any form of tension, which with a full breath, that's really what's happening. And that actually keeps your body in a state where it's regulated. And from a full breath, it's actually feels a form of, it feels good. It feels pleasant. It feels almost like almost, I describe it like a high behind it. It feels like you're almost high from a full breath. That's how powerful it is. As you age, we lose that ability to actually get the full breath. And part of it is because through life experience, we start to, our mind becomes a little bit more active, and the activity in the mind start to interfere with our ability to have that full breath. So as a result, the majority of adults, we have a partial breath, which is actually coming from the chest. And from the partial breath, you can see that from the pulling, the inhaling, you're not actually inhaling the proper amount of oxygen that you need. That could be an issue from the partial breath, the poor inhalation of oxygen, but also as you exhale, a poor exhalation of carbon dioxide. Either you exhale too much or not enough. And as a result, also, you're not able to actually, from the exhale, you're not able to release the tension that's actually within your body. So partial breath is present more in adult life, and it's really behind the partial breath. Is actually behind a lot of the ailments that we as adults face, from the mental tension, anxiety, depression, and all those stuff. You have an ability to have the full breath and really exhale the tension out of your body. So that's what creates a lot of those ailments from the partial breath, but also not only mental tension, but also physical tension. We are unable to release that tension out of the body from the partial breath. So we have become, over from the baby years to the adult, we've lost our ability to breathe fully. And to be honest, as a human being, sometimes it's it's very difficult for you to even realize that it's an issue, because we've become so accustomed to carry so much tension within our bodies, so much so that we think we relax, but we actually tense. But until you actually learn to relax, then you actually see the difference between being tense and relaxed. And the two are really like night and day. So the good news for us humans is that although we've lost our ability to fully breathe, it's also something we can relearn like a muscle. I want to give an example. Have you ever felt like you are dehydrated, and then you go get your water and then you feel hydrated? A full breath is so powerful that when you do it properly, it makes you hydrated with feels hydrated with oxygen. I call it, it makes you feel oxygenated. And unless you really experience that, you will not know really what it feels like. And it's a state where your body is very relaxed, which most of us, we haven't felt that way in a long time. Now, in this video, like I say, the good news is that you can rewire your body to tap into your full breath. And it's a matter of teaching your body like a muscle. All right. And once you become good at it, you can start slowly, Then anytime you feel any tension in your body, mental tension, physical tension, you can always go back to your breath and do this. And then it will allow you to tap into your full breath, which will allow you to release the tension within your body and actually feel relaxed. So one good exercise you can do is, and I have a specific another video for more in-depth details with the exercise. But what you can do is you can find a quiet room, um, somewhere you're not going to be disturbed for the next 5 to 10 minutes. You could start with 5 minutes, and slowly as you get stronger, you can increase the time from 5 to 10, 15, 20, all the way to once you become really good at it, you could actually do this exercise for an unlimited amount of time. But during the exercise, all you have to do is lay down on a flat surface. Make sure your back is straight, or you can sit down also on a chair, but make sure your back is straight because your back posture and spine affect your breathing. So as you are laying down or sitting down, you may want to close your eyes and you allow your breathing to be natural. So allow your body to breathe in from the nose, exhale from the nose or from the mouth, but always inhale through the nose, exhale through the nose or the mouth. So allow your breathing to be natural. And as you're laying down, eyes closed, make sure there's no noise nearby. You can even have a timer, time yourself for 5 minutes. Once again, keep your body relaxed. But during the exercise, what we're going to do is bring our attention to observing our body breathing. We're not trying to control the breathing. We're not trying to change it. We're just going to observe the body breathe. I say this process is happening all the time without you even noticing it. Now, for this exercise, we're going to start paying attention to that. Pay attention to the breath coming through the nose. Watch it go. Watch it come. Watch it go. Get as close as possible to your breath as you're watching it, as you're observing. It's almost like you're watching a show, a spectacle, and you're a spectator. You're a spectator, and the spectacle is the breath. And you're just watching it go. Sometimes the rhythm goes very effortless. You don't have to think about it. Yes, that could be a very boring thing to sit there and watch your breath, but that's actually the purpose of the exercise is to actually just stay centered in the breath. No matter how boring it is, you just keeping our attention there, and we stay as close as possible to the breath as we can. But we also, while we're paying attention to the breath, we're paying attention to our attention, making sure at some point your attention is going to start wandering. And when it does that, that's perfectly normal. That's why you're paying attention to your attention. So when your attention starts wandering, you gently bring it back. And that's all you're doing for 5 minutes, 10 minutes to begin. You stay on the breath, you watch it, you pay attention to the cadence behind it, the actual movement of the body behind it, the sound that it makes. You really go into the details and you're just watching it. As soon as your mind wanders, just go. Now the mind wanders, that's all you do. 5 minutes to begin, and then you start increasing the time. Sometime more, you can sometimes place your hand on the belly while you're observing your breath, and maybe you can watch the breath as it's happening in that area. Still, we allow the breath to be natural. We don't need to force it. So what you're doing there, you're actually teaching your mind to stay centered on one thing. And by doing that, the mind is always jumping left and right. By doing that, you're forcing the mind to slow down. It's 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 shaking. And by slowing down the mind, your breath is actually slowing down too. Which eventually, the more you do that, the more you're gonna start tapping into that full breath that I'm talking about. You're gonna watch it come from the belly and really As you breathe, you're going to feel the pleasantness behind it. All right. So that's all I have for today. Let me know if you have any question, and hope this makes sense. Have a good one.